So I left off where God told me to fast. It was a Monday morning, and He basically told me that if I did what He said, He would set me free by Friday. Okay. And during this time, Sharia, my sister, had mentioned, about all of my letters and cards and pictures and everything that I had that had to do with John. I mean, I had all the furniture. Eventually, I got that back. That's a whole nother story. But I had everything in my house that still had to do with John. So God basically said, get rid of all that stuff, and because you're allowing the demons to be there. So I fasted Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, didn't eat anything, just drank water. And on Thursday, I got the breakthrough about all this stuff, and started just like going on a mission. I think I maybe even called into work and just started throwing everything out. I did intentionally keep a few things, which we'll get into another time, but I basically threw everything away. My futon, my microwave. I mean, I literally went back down to nothing. But I was that desperate. I wanted to be free that bad. On Thursday, this all happened. Probably about 6 p.m., my pastor's wife, such a lovely lady, by the way. Hi, I wish I could say her name, but I won't. She invited me to a women's fellowship weekend. Well, not really a weekend. I think it was just one night. But she invited me to a conference. And she said, I really think you should come, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I'm like having a really hard day. I had been throwing stuff away all day. I was covered in sweat. I was just a mess. And just, when you get in those modes, when you've been fasting, you're in the mode, you're praying in the spirit, you're doing your, thing, trying to hear from the Lord. I wanted to be free. Needless to say, she kind of talked me into it. Thank you for talking me into it. And so that was to happen on Friday. So I left on Friday kind of blindly, not knowing what the conferences was about, what the speaking was going to be about. I just kind of blindly went. And I knew that God had said I could eat on Friday at 6 o'clock. So it just so happened that we arrived around, 6:15. And I found out on the way there that the conference was about freedom. As soon as I found that out, I just started crying. I just knew that it was God that wanted me there, and this was His way of setting me free, and now I had obeyed everything He said, and He was going to set me free of this. So I get to the conference, and the lovely church ladies had already set up a spaghetti dinner. So there was, spaghetti and sauce and garlic bread and Parmesan cheese, and I was so excited to eat because I hadn't eaten in, this was the 5th day. So I maxed my food. I just ate every single bite of it. I was so hungry. I think I had 2 plates. And after that, we played some games in a circle. The cottage was kind of small. There was probably 3 bedrooms, maybe, and then there was a big living room area and a kitchen, a larger kitchen. And so we sat out in the front area and played some games, had some laughs, everything was fine. Then we decided to go outside where there was a bonfire pit thing, and worship. One of the ladies had brought a guitar, and we just sat out and worshiped, and I was just praying in the spirit. Everybody was. It was a really amazing time of worship. I think Mercy, dang it. I think one of our friends led it, and she was right next to me, so I felt it. Either way it goes, after that, I started to feel really icky. My stomach started hurting. My head was, banging. It was just I was not feeling well at all. And so I decided to go lay down. Everyone else, continued to worship, and some went into the, little living area to hang out. And I went and lay down in a bunk bed looking cot thing. Well, it wasn't a bunk bed, but it was like a cot. And I went and laid down. I don't know how long it was later because that night seemed like it took forever, but a little bit later, I guess I'll just say, I woke up and had to run to the bathroom. I knew I was going to throw up. And so I started throwing up, and it was pure black. It was super thick as it was coming out, almost choking me. It was disgusting. I have never experienced this kind of sickness in my life before, and never again has this happen to me. Our pastor's wife, the lovely lady must have heard me puking because they were all still awake. And she came in and she was patting my back and praying with me. And after I puked again and she saw that it was black, she said, the Lord just spoke to me and said that he's using physical means to set you free of all the demons that you have. So I believed that, God set me free that night. I threw up on my demons. I don't know how that happened, but God doesn't use the same thing for everybody, and this is just the way that he ridded me of all the demons that I was holding on to. I later learned that, you can allow those demons to come back even through your thoughts, and that can be a whole nother story, but this is how I was set free, and I never had a bad dream again until about 3 months later, which is an entirely another story. Kind of talks about the verse in the Bible, Luke 11:26. Then the spirit leaves and brings back 7 other spirits that are worse than them, and they come back. So if you allow them to come back, you are setting yourself up for big trouble, and then you just wasted your freedom because you allowed them to come back. So this is my story of freedom. Like I said in the beginning, whom the sun sets free is free indeed.